Hi guys, welcome to Dust to Daughter. I'm Emily Mason, and today I'm going to be talking about my testimony. So I'm very newly saved, and I just want to talk about that a little bit. Today is June 6th, 2025, and I was saved April 18th, 2025, which is Good Friday, my favorite day of the year now. For context, I'm in college. I'm 19, and I've spent my whole life in the Catholic Church. I always believed in Jesus, always prayed to him, always knew he was there. But I think a lot of the following I did was out of fear. It was out of fear of going to hell. It was out of fear of disappointing God. It was out of fear of messing up. And when you're living out of fear, a lot of the times you just end up falling back into sin because the only real good reason you have for it is because you don't want to disappoint God, but then you're constantly told that he will forgive you. So you're like, like, it's kind of miserable. It's a miserable cycle, but I think a lot of us are stuck in it. So that's how I always lived. And I always openly would talk about church and the Lord, and I never denied him. But I didn't truly feel the love, and I didn't truly understand, and I always felt like there was more that I was missing. I always felt like there was a part of it that I'm like, okay, there's got to be more to this, because like people are really about this guy, and I love him, but I don't get it. You know what I mean? So Good Friday of this year was April 18th. And my mom has kind of felt the same way as me, where she's like, there's something more to this. I'm kind of like, I'm hungry for something here. And my sister has really gotten us into our faith lately. And she's been reading the Bible a lot the past year. So we were like, let's watch The Passion of the Christ. I've never watched it. If you haven't watched it, 10 out of 10 recommend that movie. It saved my life. But be prepared, because it's emotionally exhausting to watch. And I'm not even saying that to be dramatic. It's genuinely a hard watch. So if you don't know what the movie's about, it's basically about, it kind of has flashbacks, but it's about Jesus and his crucifixion. And it shows the whole thing. And it shows Judas betraying him. It shows all of that. It shows up to where he is like on the cross. They're actually making a sequel to it. I think they're starting filming this year. It's called The Resurrection of the Christ. And Mel Gibson directed The Passion of the Christ, and he's directing the Resurrection of the Christ. And Jim Caviezel is actually playing Jesus again. So I'm very excited. But if you know anything about this movie, it was made in 2004. And no one in Hollywood would take this movie. No one would produce it. Mel Gibson was like, we need to make this movie. So Mel Gibson he produced it, he directed it. It was his film. And Jim Caviezel played Jesus, and he always talked about, he heard the voice of God telling him to become an actor. And then at 33 years old, with the initials JC, Mel Gibson comes to him about this movie and is like, will you play Jesus? And he thought about it, and he's like, yes, I will. Like, I have to play Jesus. And if you watch this film, this is the first time where I think I really was like, oh, like, Jesus was a human being. Like, Jesus is a human being. You see movies, you see, like, you hear in church, like, oh, he was a boy too, like, he was a person too. But I don't know, like, the conviction in Jim Caviezel's eyes, I'm like, that was a human being. Like, it's almost like you can feel Jesus in this film. So my whole family came over, we had dinner, and then we watched The Passion of the Christ. And there was probably 7 people on one couch in the dark watching this movie. Not a single person moved the whole time. Not a single person went on their phone. Not a single person spoke. I don't even think we breathed. This film messed me up. I was watching it, and I am watching this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, Jesus went through a lot. And like, you always know, like, he was hung on this cross, but you don't understand. And like, when you see this film, you're like, oh my gosh, as a human being, like, and it makes you sob. It makes you sob. Like, my nervous system felt dysregulated when this film ended. I had to like leave and go back to my apartment. Like, I couldn't even talk. I was like, I gotta go. I don't feel right about this. Like, this has changed my whole perception of life. So if you're feeling kind of like you want a relationship with Jesus and you're just like, I don't feel it, go watch that film, but like really sit down and watch it. Like, don't be like on your phone. Like, Go sit down and watch it, and you're gonna be like, I don't know, the conviction I felt in my heart at that point was actually insane. So I've always loved films, I've always loved movies. It was so funny how I'm saved from watching a movie. Like Jesus really does work in like funny ways. Like I always wanted to be a director. I've always been interested in like media production. It's so funny how the Lord will convict you in such specific ways. So watched that film, went home, didn't speak a word, and for the first time in my life, I was like, wow, I understand it. I understand. We don't do things out of fear. We do things out of love. We follow Jesus because we love him. We follow Jesus because he genuinely suffered. He gave his life. He loved us so much that if I was the only person who he was up on that cross dying for, he would have gladly still done it. He didn't do it for everyone. He did it for the one. He did it for you. And I don't know, I can't explain it. But watching that movie, I was like, it makes sense now. I want a relationship with Jesus and I want to follow Jesus and I want to remove anything from my life that is going to separate me from him. I don't care what it is. I don't care who it is. I don't care. I will do anything to be close to him. And it's such a weird feeling because you're like, oh my gosh, like life is worth living. This makes sense. So you feel this fulfillment and you feel this joy and you're like, I have felt happy before. I felt joy. I felt like all these things, but it's like being saved is almost like walking around your town all your life. And I don't know where you guys live, but I live it's a good area, but like there's parts of it that are kind of run down, like things like that. It's like walking around the most rundown part of your city for all your life and just thinking, nothing of it. And then someone one day takes goggles off of you. And then you look around and you're like, oh wow, I'm literally in the Garden of Eden right now. It's literally so beautiful. And I was being tricked. I had these goggles on and it all looked run down and it looked gray and it looked depressing and it looked dirty. And then you take off these goggles that you didn't know you had on. And you're like, wow, this is lush greenery. Everything is beautiful. Everything is healthy and fruitful. And the sun is always shining. And then you're looking around and a lot of people have these goggles on and you're trying to talk and you're like, wait, the goggles. And they don't understand. They're like, what goggles? You're crazy. What goggles are you talking about? I don't have goggles on. This is just what it is. You're like, no, you can't see what I see. And those people who are running around saying, oh, like take off your goggles, or the people who are Jesus freaks or things like that. Like it's just until you understand, you don't understand. And my wish, if I could have one thing in this world, is it was for everyone to feel the way that I felt that night, because it genuinely has changed my life. It's only been like 2 months, but I know that I will feel this way forever. So that was like a crazy thing for me. So now a lot of conviction has followed that, a lot of things. And I think I've realized a lot about myself. I've realized a lot about everything, but the number one thing I've realized is this has to be my top priority. Like Jesus has to be my top priority. And it's not because like I feel obligated to, it's like I want to, I need to. Like I crave him. I crave this relationship and this love and this joy, because if I was here and like this is like the max I could ever feel of like joy, love, happiness, like this is the highest I've ever felt in all those things, in all those bars, all my life. When those goggles came off, Jesus gave me like quadruple. Like the bars are lifted so high, and your capacity for love and joy and compassion and understanding and energy just skyrockets, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I have been so limited. But that's what the devil wants, right? The devil wants you to be limited. He doesn't want you to see all of the amazing things that the Lord can bring you. He wants you to only feel little spikes of dopamine and here, and you sin and you feel good for a little bit, but only enough to where you think you can go back to it for more, but it's not going to last. So you just keep going to other things and you just keep separating yourself from God. That's what he wants. So I don't know. I don't know. And I understand things so much more now. I used to always think, like, how could Judas betray the Lord? How could Judas betray Jesus? He knew he was Jesus Christ. Like, why would he betray him? For what? For money? For a couple coins? Like, oh, it was probably a lot of money, but if he knew Jesus Christ was in his corner, literally was going to protect him for eternity, why would he forsake him like that? Why would he betray him right to his face? And then I hear now and I'm like, I'm Judas. I'm Judas. You're Judas. We're all Judas because we all have done that to Jesus. We have all looked the Lord in the face and said, yeah, I mean, you're great, but I want to go do this, or I want to go do this, or this makes me feel happy. But a lot of it is we don't understand what the Lord can give us. I never understood. I never felt it. And now I do. It doesn't mean I don't struggle with it. Doesn't mean that I'm perfect or I don't sin. That's completely the opposite. But I feel now like I just on the day to day, like I want to remove those things. Not I have to. I want to remove those things because I just want to get closer to Jesus. So, what happens when you're saved? So, I have always heard, well, not always heard, I've heard recently that the first year of you being saved, genuinely, you will be tested. Like, you will be tested. And a lot of that is the devil trying to tempt you, trying to make you fall back into sin, trying to have you forsake Jesus and be like, oh, this isn't worth it. Like, oh, like this is so hard. How could you let this happen to me? God does not cast wickedness upon us. The Lord doesn't intentionally have bad things come towards us. Things might not go our way all the time, or he might not do the things we want him to do, but he does that for a reason, and he doesn't cast wickedness upon us. And I think a lot of people feel that way because I was always like, oh, God's in charge. Like, why is he letting this happen to me? He doesn't do that to you. A lot of things that are bad that are happening, I'm not saying everything because I'm not all knowing. A lot of them are a result of sin on this earth. A lot of it is Adam and Eve sinned, and God said, okay, taking a step back. I'm not going to have my hands in all the plans here. He still has control, but he's not like, we have free will. Like, a lot of what happens is a direct result of sin, of things that are bad. So I think a lot of people are discouraged, which is what the devil wants. He wants us to not depend on the Lord. He wants us to not feel the Lord because that's beneficial to him. And I think a lot of times we expect to understand, I don't know, what God's plans are. I think a lot of times we're like, why are you letting this happen? But it's honestly kind of egotistical if you think about it. If I'm over here, 19 years old, hey, creator of the universe, perfect, all-knowing being, why are you doing this to me? I'm gonna need you to explain it right now because I don't get it. I don't get it. You keep the world rotating. You created all of this, but you're gonna have to explain it to little old me because I'm not understanding it and I'm upset about that. Sounds kind of silly, right? But it's the way that we're raised, the way we're taught. Everyone needs an answer for everything. Everyone is, oh, well, you can do whatever you want. It's liberating. It's not. It might be for a little bit. It's not, though. It's so sad. It's so sad. The things that are normalized now, because people will go around loving Jesus and spreading the word of Jesus, and you'll be like, oh, like, stop. Like, you're pushing your religion on people. We're supposed to spread the word. We don't have to be disrespectful doing that. But why is sin so normalized? Why are we watching shows? Entertainment nowadays, a lot of it is just watching people sin. Why are we being told, oh, go get with whoever you want, you're young, don't waste your youth? Waste your youth? Waste your youth saving yourself? Waste your youth focusing on the Lord instead of giving yourself away piece by piece to other people? That's so sad. But that's so normal nowadays. It's so sad. It's what we're taught. It's what I've always heard growing up, and I was always like, that's a little weird. I don't really agree with that. But it's so normalized. It's so normalized, and it's so sad. So, yeah, when you're saved, you're going to lose some friends. You're going to lose a lot. You decide to follow him, and we truly do. But what we'll gain is just so much more. And we might not see it now, but the love and the fulfillment and the happiness you'll feel without needing to depend on others, without not needing to depend on things of this world is so freeing because I could lose everything today now. And that would be hard. I'm not going to say I would take that lightly. I'm not going to say that I would be a little perfect little princess about it. I'd probably throw a fit. But I know that as long as I have Jesus Christ, I have everything. It's all I really need. It's all you really need. It's just hard to get there, I think. It's like a missing piece in my life. And now I'm like, oh, perfect. Like, I would go to bed crying every night. Like, what am I going to do with my life? What am I doing? What's my purpose? Why do I feel like I have nothing figured out? I have it all figured out now because I don't know what's going to happen. I have no clue. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because I'm no longer after the kingdom. I'm after the king. Goodness, I love him so much. And I've had a really hard weeks with it because I was feeling all this love for Jesus. And I know Bryce Crawford talked about this a while ago where he was like going through like kind of a hard stint and he was like, I wish I felt the way I felt at Waffle House. I wish I felt the way I felt when I was saved. And his testimony is definitely more extreme than mine. He had a supernatural encounter with Jesus Christ. I did not. I felt him, but his is definitely like more extreme. But I've kind of been feeling that way too, where I'm like, why don't I feel you? Like, I know you're there. Like, come on. Like, I don't feel motivated to read my Bible. I don't feel motivated to do all these things. But that's where relationships are built. That's where they grow. Think about your life. If you have friends or a partner or family, you don't, the best people, the people that truly, really you hold in the highest regard in your life are not the people who were just there during the good times, not the people who were just there to celebrate with you or just to kick it and it's easy. The people that you genuinely probably appreciate the most and love the most are the people who sat with you in the hardest times and were there for you and knew that, you know what, I love this person so much that even if they're going through something, even if I need to sacrifice my time or my happiness to make them feel better, I love them so much that I will. Those are the best people, the people who are there in the hard times as well as the good ones. That's what we need to be with Jesus Christ. If you're not feeling him every day, that's not where a relationship begins. If every day that you don't feel Jesus Christ, you just forsake him and you just look for fulfillment in things that separate you from him or worldly things, that relationship is not going to grow. You're not just going to randomly feel him again. The devil wants that. The devil wants you to not feel him. The devil wants you to lean back into sin and separate yourself from him. That's not where quality relationships grow. And it's a test. It's really a test. That's how you build a relationship. That's how you build faith, knowing even on the days that I don't feel you, I'm going to keep acting as if I do because that's where we build something, you know? Think about how many days of your life, for me at least, how many days of my life where I was forsaking Jesus and I didn't realize, where I was, living in sin and living in worldly things because I didn't know he was there. I didn't feel him. And he sat there with me every step of the way, even if I have no clue about it, even if I didn't feel it at all, even if I didn't even know. He sat with me. And I know that now. And he built trust with me. He built faith with me. And he doesn't owe me that, but he brings himself down to our level. He came down as a man. He got baptized to make a statement. He's showing us that he is going to sit down with us and be like, you know what? I'm sitting with sinners because I love you. Even if you forsake me, I love you. Forgive them. They do not know what they've done. He loves you, even on the days where you're not there for him. He's always there for you. And I'm not saying that there are days he's not there for you. He's always there for you. But you might not necessarily feel him as much. You still need to put in the work on your end. There's not going to be a relationship if you don't try. He's there. He's waiting for you. But if you keep turning away from him or whatever, what kind of rapport are you building? None. You need to put in the work. That's how things are built. And I'm talking to myself when I say this too, by the way, because I've had a really hard time lately feeling motivated to include him in my days, but it's like going to the gym. I don't know if anyone here goes to the I don't know if anyone's watching this. I don't know if anyone goes to the gym. When you're going to the gym consistently and you're lifting weights and I don't know, you're getting muscle, you're getting stronger, you're reaching your goals. If you're going to the gym consistently, you feel great. You're like, oh, heck yes, I love this. You skip one day, the next day is harder to go back. And then it keeps snowballing to the point where you feel miserable, but it's just so hard to go back to the gym that you just keep doing it. That's how a relationship with Jesus is. You're not going to feel like going to Jesus every day. But if you don't, that one day, the 2 days gets worse, and then the 3 days, and then the 4 days. And the only way to feel better is to go back to him, but it's so hard to do that. So please, 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 just do your best. I don't know. I talk a lot about on my TikTok about how to include him on busy days because I know people are busy and I know it's not a normal thing, unfortunately, nowadays to like include Jesus on the day to day. I know it's not talked about. I know a lot of society denies him. I know a lot of sin is really popular. So I know there's not really a lot of resources of like, oh, how do I spend the day with Jesus? I know there's a lot of great ones, but it's just not built into our culture anymore, unfortunately. So I talk a lot about that. So feel free to check it out or just look it up. I don't know. Look up something. But there's a lot of ways, like unconventional ways to spend time with Jesus. Like I love The Chosen. I freaking love The Chosen. That is my favorite show. But I've been so bad at watching it lately because I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to watch it. I love that show. When I watch it, I'm like, this is like the best time of my day because I'm learning about Jesus and I'm seeing him. And that's obviously not actually Jesus, but I'm seeing like this is what his life was like. And like sometimes it's just easier to sit and watch something because sometimes the Bible, like it's kind of hard to understand sometimes. And sometimes you don't feel motivated to do it. But if you have him in your life in some way on that day, that's amazing. And we need to keep doing things like that because that's how you feel close to him when you show up every day for him the way he does for you. One last thing I would like to say. I truly, 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 truly promise you, if you really are able to hand things over to the Lord, and I don't mean saying, oh, I'm handing this to you. I mean, if you truly believe it and you believe in him and his power and his love for you, your life will improve a million times. I'm not kidding. I've had some really hard things happen since I've been saved. And I know that that's the devil trying to get me to forsake Jesus or give up on this journey with him. But I've leaned on him and I've given it all to him. And I have handled these situations very well considering my personality. I'm not going to lie to you. I've literally made the prayer of like, Lord, I don't know what you're going to do with the situation. I don't know what your plan is for me, but I trust you and I have faith in you and I'm giving this to you. I've done everything I can. Please remove this stress and anxiety from my body about this because I know it's the devil trying to get me to forsake you, trying to get me to give up on you. Please, I'm leaving this at your feet. I truly believe that no matter what, even if the worst case scenario happens, I still have you. That's all that matters. And it's going to teach me a lesson. Please help me to use this as an opportunity to grow closer to you and not to grow further from you. And please just remove this anxiety from my body. And he's done it. He's literally done it. But you have to really believe it. Any anxiety, any depression that I've ever felt in my life, cleansed. And I'm not going to say I don't have hard moments. I do. But when you give it to the Lord, he will take it from you. He will. Desires, he will take them from you. You have to really, really believe. You have to really leave it at his feet. But the Lord will remove things that separates you from him if you truly ask for it. So my message to all of you today, if anyone's watching this, ask him to remove those things and ask him to help you in your relationship with him and do the things that bring you closer to him. Ignore the things or the people or whatever they say about, oh, well, the world's going to fulfill you. You should feel out of place on this world because you don't belong here. You belong in the kingdom of heaven with him. Your goal should be to serve him, to spread the word, and to feel out of place on this planet because we don't belong here. We belong with him. Just spend as much time as you can with him. Watch The Chosen if you haven't. I literally, once you get past the first episode or two, it's amazing. It doesn't even feel like you're watching a show about Jesus. It just feels like you're watching a television show. He has open arms for you. You just have to go to him. And it's hard. It's hard to surrender things when it's all we know. But it's so worth it. So I encourage you to just talk to him. He's your best friend on the day-to-day. I encourage you to learn more about him, to go watch films and movies about him, to go read the word. There's a lot of great Bibles that they have margins you can write in, you can color code it. It's fun. I encourage you to surround yourself with people who will bring you closer to him and not further from him. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't try to encourage people to join us in our path, but you're not God. You can do your best and you can try to encourage people to be kind and to follow the Lord and come with you on this journey, but not everyone will. And he will take care of that. He will open their hearts. So surround yourself with the Lord, and God bless all of you. And please feel free to join me on this journey because I'm really learning a lot and I really want to hear what you guys have to say. Feel free to follow me on TikTok to follow me on this journey. I'm going to be on Spotify and YouTube too. I don't expect to for anyone to watch this, but if it helps even one person, that would bring me so much joy. And if not, my kids will watch it in 20 years, or when I'm feeling far from him, I'll watch this back, and it's just fun little outlet for me. So God bless you all. Please remember, Jesus loves you, and on the days you don't feel him, he is there. I promise. I promise. So thank you. Thanks for watching Dust to Daughter, and I hope to see you all again. God bless.